Customer states, I have an oil leak. Can you check it out for me?
And I mean, yeah, you got an oil leak there. That's pretty bad, but
You know what? That's the least of your problems right now.
Customer states just replace the brake pads only, don't try and upsell me. Well, thankfully they actually did listen to the mechanic and ended up getting all new rotors. Customer had this car only for an hour before this noise started up. Surprisingly, the apparently shady shop gave him a full refund.
Let me ask ya, how many miles do you think this guy's gone since his last spark plug change?
This vehicle came in and the customer stated that they just want an oil change and their brakes checked. Well, it needed rear brakes, which they declined among many other issues, including the control arm bushings, as you can see here. The shop documented everything, warned the owner of how dangerous it is, and had them sign a waiver just to be safe.
So basically, this is a perfect example. If you don't know how to drive 5-speed, don't. So we've all seen blued flywheels, whatever, they're not a big deal. But I have never, ever seen this in my life. How, guy? Oh, like this, yeah, we've all seen that. I mean, if you've done clutches, we've all seen. I have never, out of every clutch I've ever done, seen pressure plate explode.
Customer states, I know my brake pads have plenty of time left on them, don't try to upsell me, but in reality they looked like this. Customer states, there's a loud vibration type noise coming from the blower fan whenever it's turned on.
What is this? I can't get it out. Oh my god. What the hell? It got like tied or something in there? What is this stuff? Is there like paper? Is that paper in there? Oh my god. Yeah. There we go. I fizzed it.
Yet another brand new vehicle that has issues, this time on a 2025 Trailblazer that the customer found after finding a transmission fluid leak. Apparently, this affected a bunch of these vehicles being made in 2024.
Well, what do you think? Is it chocolate milk? Or is it trans fluid? Oh yeah.
This vehicle came in with the complaint of having the doors not locking when using the key and that the fuel door won't open up either, so the customer can't refuel it. And the mechanic found quite the interesting cause for these issues.
lock relay. It's corroded due to their bleach. Leaks, neck down, falls all the way down. All on it. Relay goes right there.
This customer brought their vehicle in for a full engine teardown and rebuild. They were denied warranty by the dealership despite doing all their oil changes on time. This specific vehicle has an extended warranty for 15 years and 180,000 miles for head gasket failure. The dealership notified them that no warranty or recall related issues were found, but upon tearing it down, you can obviously see multiple spots where the head gasket was leaking. Customer had just attempted and failed to replace their control arms and managed to split their CV boot in the process. After a short drive, they looked again and found all the grease flinging out.
Citroen Berlingo comes in, she said he thinks exhaust banging or subframe. Been to another garage, they put a clamp on. I haven't done anything, this is how this turned up, not even took the old one off. That's not the problem, it's a lot worse. So I don't remember cars where your gearbox sits on your subframe. Now I have removed it because this is how it turned up to me. I've removed that top piece. So that's his gearbox mount, not still there. It's snapped. I mean, happens, stuff breaks, it's snapped. The fact that she drove it to a garage to put an exhaust clamp on, sent her on her way, and she drove 5 miles to us? Impressive. Very dangerous, but impressive. But they missed it. They did not see that had snapped and the gearbox was sat on the subframe. The whole van rattles its head off.
Time for a blinker fluid top up. Customer states that their batteries are always running out of charge, even though the batteries are newish and the alternator is fine.
Huh. Can't imagine why.
Customer states they installed a Temu timing belt and it's only been 6 months, but it's starting to look funny.
Good. Good.
Customer was heading down the highway when their van started making this loud noise and running poorly.
That is God, man. Whatever that is.
These engines are known for blowing out spark plugs, but thankfully this one didn't rip out the threads on its way out, so it was an easy fix. The owner of this van washed it down using diesel exhaust fluid, and now the whole van looks like this. They even managed to get some inside the engine bay too, as a bonus. Customer states is my engine dead. Their oil light came on, so they stopped at AutoZone to put more in, but then after driving down the street the car stopped accelerating and it smoked out the whole street. Safe to say the engine is toast. Gotta be the first time we've seen a bear walk through a shop. This fella apparently just strolled in for a quick look and then went back out thankfully.
This is that happens when you let your wheel bearings sit there and make noise for 2 years. That happens right there. And then you complain to me about having to pay for new wheel bearings or a new hub, but it's not my fault. I didn't do this.
Customer states there's a knocking noise when coming to a stop. Unfortunately, that diff is probably going to need to be pulled apart, but the passenger side axle was replaced recently, so they may have messed something up. This customer had to sleep in their car, but before they could get to sleep, they started hearing the scratching noise behind their dash. Unfortunately for them, it is most likely a rat, as the noise would immediately stop if they hit the dash or make noise in the car. This guy's girlfriend had to borrow his truck after her car broke down and had it for 3 days before it apparently lost power while on the freeway. She said she knew how to drive manual, but considering it can do this without the clutch pedal pressed in, I think we all know that clutch is toast.
Resistance on it, it feels normal. However, without the clutch, this just goes right into the gears with nothing happening. Nothing. So I can just go all over. I mean, I know it's bad, obviously.
This mechanic was going to change this motorbike's piston and rings because it had a lot of blow-by, and when taking the head off, they noticed the intake valves weren't closing properly. As you can see, the intake spring had snapped alongside another 2 other valve springs that had snapped. Customer states their truck will not accelerate. Well, that would certainly do it. Customer thought that maybe someone tried to cut their catalytic converter out, but upon closer inspection, it just seems like it had cracked and rusted through. This customer's car suddenly lost power and would barely start when they pushed it to the side of the road. They eventually limped it home, and when diagnosing, as you can see, there's quite a lot of crankcase pressure, so it might be time to pull out the compression tester. This was a remanufactured steering rack this mechanic installed after the customer declined an original replacement one. Ultimately ended up reinstalling an OE rack that worked perfectly. Here's your reminder to drain your air compressors if you haven't done it for a while.
Dude, there's so much more.
Mechanic's friend found out the hard way of not doing an inspection or tear down on this WRX engine they just swapped in. This insanely unlucky customer had their window destroyed by what is either a lime or black walnut that was found under the hood stuck in the cowl. Customer noticed coolant leaking onto their gas pedal, and unfortunately for them, it's their heater core, so chances are they're in for quite an expensive repair. Here's a bit of a palate cleanser to end the video is this beautiful GMC Cyclone that rolled into the shop with some very tasteful modifications. Thanks for watching another episode of Mechanical Nightmare. I hope you enjoyed. If you have your own clip, you can send it to us on our forums link. Otherwise, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next episode.